YouTube. Hello Outdoor Squad. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be discussing how to replace a sensor light. This is probably the easiest thing that you will do with electrical. If it takes you more than an hour, you're probably not taking advantage of the 5 tips that I'm going to provide in this video. So replacing your sensor light yourself should be fun, should be easy, and save you a few coins. Now, it won't allow you to save enough to invest in precious metals, but if you're like me, add a few coins to the travel account. 7 continents so far. But these five tips really will help you. I have this Heath Zenith light that I'm replacing. The instructions are pretty self-evident. You should be able to do this in an hour if you have all the tools that you need. So I would like to just kind of get started and show you what I did in replacing my Heath Zenith. So let's get started with tips. So tip 1 is selection. Again, I have a Heath Zenith. It was an older model. I've been at this location for decades. Never was a problem, and then the light just stopped working. I tried everything, resetting all those things, and it didn't work. So it's time to replace, and that might be something that you're faced with now. Let me just say though, you may not want to use an electrical replacement. They do now have solar lights that can replace your electrical fixture, and it's very easy. You open the box, you attach it to the wall, you place the solar panel in a location where it can get sunlight, voila. The problem with that, and I do have solar lights in my yard, the problem is that in my yard we have little critters. We have curious squirrels, we have possums that come through, raccoons every now and then, and the light gets knocked down. You have to reset it, and not to mention you have bird droppings that can accumulate. And every now and then you'll have to replace the battery. So those are the things to consider when using a solar light. For me, electrical, you put it there, you wire it, it works. So select the one that most suits your abilities. You know, you want to relocate that panel every now and then, replace batteries. I don't want to do that. So I went for a replacement. Try to get, in terms of your selection though, get one, if you're using the electrical, get one that is similar to the one you're replacing. In general, the wires are going to be the same. You're going to have a hot wire, black, neutral wire, white, ground wire, green. And if you get one that's similar or the same model, even though it may be years out, you won't have to worry about, am I drilling a hole? You don't need to drill a hole. It's going to be very, very similar. So selection is really important. The next thing is, if you get yours, as I did, from a big box store, you want to open that box as soon as you get home, take a look inside, lay out all the parts that came with it. The worst thing is you get home and you realize you're in the middle of a project that someone else has opened the box, and now you're short a couple of screws or all the parts aren't there. So make sure you lay it out. And again, the directions on how to replace this is going to be fairly easy. But if you make sure that you do have what is itemized on your box or inside the box, then you're going to be, very solidly able to replace this light. Tip 3 is, now that you've opened it, I want you to take a look at the screws, because even though it may be a similar model, sometimes the screws that are contained are not the best ones for your project. So I want you to take a look at your screws and look at the diameter, the head of the screw. Go to the area where you keep your screws in the house, and I'm sure you've got a few of them. If not, you can buy screws at the local hardware store, and they're very inexpensive. But look at the diameter of the screw and get a few that are longer and a few that are shorter. And I say this because when the models change, sometimes the unit is larger, and we have a lovely little squirrel there now. Sometimes the unit is a little fatter, so you're going to need a longer screw. And sometimes the model has gotten a little thinner. Components are smaller inside, and so you don't want this large screw extending. You need a shorter one. So take a look at your screws, gather a few screws with the same diameter, some that are longer and some that are shorter. Also, because this is electrical, you're going to be combining wires. You're going to need to have what they call wire nuts, and they come in various sizes. These are little wire nuts, and this enables you to put the wires together. You twist it, and it circles them around. So have a few, because you never know when you do open when you do open the light, when you get ready to remove, you may look inside and find that some are, they're kind of destroyed, maybe moisture's gotten to it, or they're not even there. So make sure you have a few wire nuts. Okay, I also make sure that I have a little hammer. You can have a bigger hammer, but I keep a little one because sometimes you need to twist something, it doesn't come off easy. So a little hammer is very helpful. Additionally, if you're replacing an older model, sometimes it will have a flathead screwdriver. So have with you a flathead screwdriver, that's the one that's just flat, and then you want to have what they call a Phillips screwdriver. You may know this, you may not, but that's the one that's pointing. Because you may be replacing it, and they're now using the Phillips, and what you have is flathead. So keep that. All right. So those are the kind of things that you're going to want to make sure that you have handy. So you've selected a model, you've checked the box, you look inside, you grab a few screws that are a little longer, a little shorter. You have a few tools with you. Now, you want to make sure, and this is the most important thing, that you go to your electrical panel and shut off the electricity. This is the most important thing. You go, make sure that you cut off the breaker that is for where you're placing this electrical unit, this light. And then don't trust it. You want to make sure that you have a current tester. This only costs you about $12, maybe $15, and you can get more expensive ones that do other things. But this is a very important tool, because even though the panel might be labeled for, in my case, the garage, it may not really be the garage, because how many times have I done this? So it could be not accurately labeled. So you have this, what you do is you turn this on, you put it next to the wire, it tells you, it'll come on and let you know whether that's a live wire or not, whether there's current going to that unit. Okay, so once you're really convinced, nobody else is in the house flipping switches, and you have this and you've tested it, now you know that you are free to work on replacing your light. Now, so here we have the wire nuts. They come in a variety of sizes. Your screws, you can get them at various small bags and various lengths. You just check the diameter of the head. You have your screwdrivers, flathead, and the Phillips, and of course the all-important current tester. These are, and of course a hammer. You don't really need a hammer, but I always like to keep one just in case there is something that does require a little force. Okay? Now the fifth thing is you want to make sure that when you open that unit, you're getting ready to take it off. Don't take it completely off. Open it. Take your phone and take a picture of the wiring, because again, typically you're going to have a hot wire, black, a neutral wire, white, and a ground wire. Probably should be an electrical box in there. And if you've selected properly, as I say, get something that's similar. It's going to have a bracket in there where you can attach your light. And you should have a nice gasket that keeps the moisture out. These things might be missing. That's why you want to take a picture to see what's there. And if you open it up and you find that there's just a tangle of wires, stop. That's not an outdoor Diane task. But if it looks like the same kind of wires that you have, you've got your wire nuts, there's some there, now you're free to make the change. So let's look and see how I did my replacement. Okay, with my old light fixture, it started to malfunction, and frankly, it had been with me for decades, so I knew that it was undoubtedly time for a change, particularly since you couldn't adjust the sensitivity for the range of detection. And the newer models say it right on the box, and they rated the one that I purchased is rated good. So I opened the box, made sure all the elements were inside, and knew it was time for a change. Goodbye, old friend.
Yeah.